is Robyn Leslie with onlytheinspired.com, and I have another amazing coach interview today with Miss Beautiful Claudia, and she has quite a story from where she started to where she is now and who she's helping, and I think you're going to find this very beneficial. So, Miss Claudia, in a couple minutes, describe who you are and how you help people, and then we'll get into where you came from, and then how you came here. So
yes, thank you so much for having me. And I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Claudia Taboada. I am a recently published author. I am also a former labor and employment attorney, and I am a women's empowerment coach, health and wellness advocate, and I am also a proud mom of 2 boys, including one who is autistic, Nicholas, who's 18 and severely autistic. And I got into coaching because I wrote my book, and it transformed. My book is actually describes my transformational journey from an autism mom who was overwhelmed and burned out to a mom who's going after her passions with confidence. And if we can go back just quickly to for my story, because it will probably introduce why am I so passionate to help these moms. So 17 years ago, I abandoned my career as a labor and employment attorney in order to take care of my son, who had been diagnosed with autism. He was 2.5, and at the time, there were not very many services for kids in the autism spectrum. And we decided with my husband that I would stay home. And we thought at the beginning that it was going to be a sabbatical, a 3-year sabbatical, but it ended up being more than that. And I was not only my son's mom, but I was his therapist, I was his teacher, I was his advocate, I was his program intervention manager. I became the ultimate super autism mom. And in the process, I lost myself. And I was burned out. I was overwhelmed. I had no identity anymore other than being my son's full-time caregiver. And I didn't know how to get out of that situation. Because when you're in that situation, you are so involved with getting all the services and helping your child, that is very hard to even think about oneself. And it just so happened that when my son was about 9, we were offered a service dog for him. And at the time, I didn't know how I was going to take care of a dog. I didn't even have time to take shower on those days, at that time. But we took the dog on, and I started taking the dog out for walks. And at the beginning, it was just like 5 minutes in front of the house. I just wanted to get rid of that chore and then go to the next one. But 5 days after I started taking the dog out for walks, something magical happened. I realized that for the first time ever since my son had been diagnosed, I had not been by myself, anywhere. Like I was, it was time for myself that allowed me to, clear my mind and to have some consciousness of what was going on. It was time for self-reflection, time for self-awareness, and I started craving this walk. And soon after, I saw that my neighbors were jogging and running, and I said, well, I'm going to get myself some running shoes. I'm going to start maybe jogging. And I started jogging in front of my house, 2 minutes. I was not able to run more than 2 minutes without being red as a tomato, but I said, I don't care. I'm going to start. So I started going up and down the street, then around the block. And then I started increasing my distance. And soon after, I went to this running store where there were two ladies selling tickets because there was a fundraiser. It was a fundraiser for breast cancer. And at the same time, there was going to be a 5K race. And I said to myself, at the beginning, I was just going to give the money for the tickets. And I said, you know what? I'm going to register for this race. It's on my birthday. And it was on my birthday. And so I registered for the race. At that time, I had not run more than 3K, but I said to myself, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. So I did the race. I remember crossing the finish line, looking back. I was not the last one, which was my biggest fear. And crossing that finish line would change my life forever. It was an epiphany. It was a game changer. It was, the kick in the butt that I needed to realize that I had been, I had been neglecting myself. I had not taken care of my physical, my mental, or my emotional health. And in the special needs journey, we have to realize that it is not a sprint, it is a marathon, because our kids become adults. And as they get older, the services decrease. So we really have to have the vitality and the strength to be able to endure the journey. So I realized that I was not doing what I had to do in order to endure this journey. So I became hungry. After I crossing that finish line, I said, no more excuses. I'm taking care of myself. And I became hungry. I became hungry for information. I started reading books, magazines, taking courses about, the self-care tools, stress management strategies that I could use on a daily basis in order to deal with the chronic stress of taking care of a severely autistic child, and who now is 18. And so I said to myself, I really need to have these strategies in order for me to endure the journey until because I will have to take care of him when he's older as well. So anyways, I reinvented myself. I became a wellness advocate. I became an athlete. I started running marathons. And I started, becoming, also a yoga enthusiast. And I started reading about, personal development books, books about mindset, books about stress resilience. So I started getting into this new path. And last year, when my son turned 18, I realized that it was my time to write this book that I've been thinking about ever since I crossed that finish line. Because I had been thinking, these moms who I was 11 years ago are going through burnout and overwhelm. And I want to share, all the different tools that I've been able to accumulate within my journey. And since my son was 18, here in Canada, we have a kind of a window of opportunity, in the sense that the kids stay in school until they're 21. And but after 21, there is no services. So I said to myself, between the time that he's 21 and that he's 18 and he's 21, I need to make an impact. It is my time now to write this book and share my message, because otherwise, after 21, I don't know what's going to happen. My son is going to be older and he's not going to have any services, and I need this time to start sharing my message. So I wrote my book. I published it about 3-4 months ago. And ever since I started, I published the book, people started asking me, do you coach? Are you interested in coaching? And so I started, taking some certifications, and I'm starting my coaching business like this month. And I want to also write a program. Right now, I'm writing a program for self-care for special needs parents, and a program that I would probably sell it as an online course. And so that's where I'm at. And I'm writing my second book as well. So that's where I'm starting my coaching business, but I am really passionate about trying to impact as many families as I can. So that's how my journey began, and it's continuing.
And that's crazy to go from an attorney all the way through that path. And, there's so many families. So what are the statistics? How many, it's one in how many kids
One
are
in
autistic?
60. One in 60. Yeah. And in 60 kids. So, yeah.
And it's taxing. I've had a friend, like I told you before, he was $1 million baby, born way premature. So he is high active autism, but it was doctor appointment after doctor appointment and trying to help. And it's just a nonstop thing. And so he was able to go to school and communicate, but it was still a challenge and exhausting. And that's, 1 in 60 kids. That's crazy. That's a huge amount of parents that are probably begging for this material.
Burnout. Oh, yes. And especially in these times of COVID-19, because they have their kids at home full time, and it's constant supervision. And I say it because my son is he's 18, but he's very severe. So it's constant supervision. Like from the beginning, from the morning, from 8 to 11, it's like, I have to keep him busy and try to at the same time juggle my projects and everything. But, because I've got my self-care tools and I've got boundaries now, I set boundaries, my mental game is strong. So that helps me a lot to be able to cope.
Absolutely. And so describe your ultimate vision for your business.
Yes, I want, as I said, I want to impact as many families as I can. And I want a coaching business. I'm not only going to coach one-on-one, but I want to do, I want to offer group coaching, workshops, masterminds. I want to continue writing my books. I want to continue doing, I want to do online courses as well. And ideally continues to speak online, on online stages and real stages when this pandemic is over, in order to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, just sharing that message because, I've been there where I've lost myself, but it wasn't through the same process. But it takes a while to get back, and it's hard to function if you've neglected yourself for so long. And you didn't neglect yourself on purpose. You were doing something that you had to do. You didn't have a choice not to do it. But at the same time, you have to be able to be strong enough emotionally and physically to continue to do that without crashing.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
So what beliefs do you have that set you apart from your competition? And I believe in collaboration, not competition, but if there's other autism, supportive coaches out there, what do you think your perspective is a little bit different, or any ideas there?
Yeah, I think just the fact that I lived it. I lived through the burnout myself. It brings an extra, although I don't have a PhD in psychology, I have several PhDs in life. And this gives me, this gives me the necessary insight and compassion to be able to understand my audience. And also at the same time, to be able to collaborate with other autism, other coaches who help, either parents or children. Because I think we can be a force if we get together and collaborate
and help that audience that's in desperate need for help and support.
I agree.
And I don't have any autistic kids, so I can only imagine what it's like. But I have not been in your shoes, so I wouldn't know the weight of that. That would be awesome. So what's the hardest thing to overcome when starting your business?
What's the hardest thing? I think the technology. The technology has been a little bit of a learning curve, and just to be able to um, concentrate on the needle movers, and not being bogged down by all the technology and the back end, to be able to have something like a back end with systems that help you, the funnels and whatever, to get your convert kit emails and all that, in order to concentrate on creating the content and sharing the message
And the
and I think
coaching.
yeah, and the coaching and the actual coaching. Yeah. So but I think it's, I love it. I really, I'm really passionate about, and I don't care, like, even if I have to learn all these things, I don't mind, because I know that eventually I'm going to be making an impact. So that's
Yay. Yay. So curious, and I ask everybody this because some people have it and some people don't. So do you have a support network of friends and family that are encouraging you to step out and to do this work? Or are you kind of doing it on your own because it's a calling, and I'm doing it no matter what anybody says? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, family, I wouldn't say, not many family are are in the entrepreneurial world, but I have I'm starting to create a network of people who are in the business, coaches or people who are entrepreneurs, either through courses that I've taken, masterminds. So that helps, to have people that are in the same shoes as you are, because we can give each other advice, and just be motivated by whatever the other one does, and just being inspired by these people, because I believe that us coaches who are in this in the given business, it's a different mindset. We are, I think we have a growth mindset, and I love being part of this community, especially in these times of COVID-19, because everyone is just, so negative. And I think we kind of have this mindset that is, growth mindset, that we still, despite all the hardships, we continue to grow and try to do the best we can, because we know at the end of the line, what is what is our why. Most of us know what our why is, and the little things here and there, just become a just a little obstacle, because we know that we have a why, we have a finish line, and so I like being surrounded by coaches.
Absolutely. And the why is what makes all that work and all that learning how to do stuff you don't know how to do work, worth it. Instead of sitting there watching Netflix, you're sitting there purposely writing books and doing content because it's worth it, because it's such a big purpose. It's such a big, mission to help the other people that are suffering, that we're in the same shoes that you're in. That you are in. I love that. And so if you don't have that support, you can create that support. And I'm creating something that is going to kind of help us, because sometimes we don't have the cheerleaders at home, but that doesn't mean you should stop because you don't have the people that are doing that. So what is your favorite thing about your business?
Oh my God, what is my favorite thing? Well, as I say, impacting people. I want to give these moms these tools that I didn't have 11 years ago, and I want to save them time. I want to save them pain. I want to avoid them, them going into burnout or overwhelm. To let them know that they need to take care of themselves right at the outset in order to be able to endure the journey. That's my
Got you. So what inspires you? What are you passionate about? And it doesn't have to be business related.
Well, my kids, just seeing my kids, my two kids, evolving. Nicholas, who's autistic, even if he has a lot to, a lot of challenges with regards to sensory input. He's very high sensitive to noise. He continues to make progress at his own, as his own pace, but he continues to make progress. And what else inspires me or motivates me? Well, one of the things that it's my motivation or helps me deal with this pandemic is my self-care. I have my techniques, and I have my one of the biggest my self-care tool number one is my exercise. I try to exercise at least once a day, and whether it's go for a run or go for a walk, but I try to get out of the house and get some vitamin D. And that when I come back, I'm energized and I'm ready to take on the day. So that's
and one of the things that you said when we first met was walking is meditation in motion. And I absolutely love that saying. And it is. And, a lot of times we're not outside, but if you could connect with the whole outside, it is like a meditation as you're getting your, your spiritual, your emotional, your physical stuff all taken care of at once. And it could be just a walk.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a long walk. It could be like a 20-minute walk, but every day. Consistency is key, I believe. With self-care, we have to be consistent, and we have to be, I say about self-care is it has to be consistent. It has to be no guilt, no excuses, and no negotiable, because, it makes us the best versions of ourselves if we can take care of ourselves. Because we cannot pour from an empty cup.
Right. And I need to work on some of those. That consistency. And, I do negotiate. It's like, well, I'm booked up with all these interviews. I'll work out next week. And I need to work on that because, I feel the energy drop when I don't work out, when I don't drink enough water. And, you eat the crappy food because it's easy. It's right there. It just takes a few minutes to do versus the whole foods. And so I have to make that a big part of me. So who inspires you?
Well, as I said, my mom, she passed away, but she was a very resourceful woman. And, every time when I do something that, my book was dedicated to her. My biggest races that I've done have been dedicated to her. So my mom for sure, and my sons, my two sons inspire me. Yeah.
Beautiful. So this is kind of a big question. So if you could leave one tip or golden nugget for the people listening, and it was the only thing you could tell them and your only chance to say it, what would it be?
Well, I repeat myself. It's, taking care of yourself is not a luxury, is a necessity. So self-care is important. Self-care is the basis of the pyramid. And if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to reach your next level of greatness.
So something just came to me. So when it comes to the parents of, highly autistic or special needs kids, do you think that some of the moms think that self-care is selfish?
Yeah.
And so how can you maybe shift that in their brain? Because I can see what it's like, I don't have time to take care of myself. I have to take care of them. So I think that's a mind shift that they might need to.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, a mindset shift. Absolutely. And because, I remember 11 years ago, that's how I thought. I don't have time. I just have so many things to do, like for my son and for the house. And I just didn't, take time. But then, the mindset shift is to make them realize that, they cannot pour from an empty cup. They have to put on their masks. If they were in an airplane, they have to put their oxygen mask first in order to take care of the rest of the people. So that's how, it's like the analogy is that they have to realize, as I said before, it is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And we have to take care of our physical, not only the physical health, but also the mental health. And that's, it's key. I cannot emphasize it enough, that we need to do this mindset shift and realize that we have to put boundaries, and that we have to ask for help. If we have a partner, we'll ask the partner, take care of the kids now while I go for my walk. And it's non-negotiable, So that's, little things like that during the day. And then, try to have a morning routine or an evening routine where you stack a little bit of, can do some meditation in the morning, some journaling in the morning. And then at night, you can do some stretching or read a book, but things for you,
Right.
So that you can, yeah.
And what you said about the airplane thing. So, and it's different for somebody like me versus somebody like you. So if you put on your son's mask first, would he know to put yours on?
No, he probably
so
wouldn't.
That's a perfect example. I have to put on mine first so I can take care of him. Otherwise, he's lost. If I take care of him and then don't take care of me, and something happens to me, you have no idea what's going to happen. So that's another important point.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And I remember, like, when I was 11 years ago, I was always thinking about the future, what's going to happen with my son, and at the same time, I was not taking care of myself. So it was, it was kind of like a tornado of thoughts that, now I realize that I have to be in the present. I have to be in the present. And meditation helps with that. Mindfulness helps with that. My walks, when I go for my mindful walk, that helps with that. I'm in the present and I'm taking care of myself. And that is going to help me for the future, So it's a lot of, but yes, it's a mindset shift. And that's what I'm trying to get through to my mamas.
And I think that's going to help so many people. So what is the name of your book?
It's Burnout to Unstoppable.
Burnout to Unstoppable. So Miss Claudia is going to give everybody a self-care workbook. So if you go to her website, it's I'm not going to pronounce the last name, but I will spell it out for you. It's ClaudiaTaboada.com. So one more time, ClaudiaTaboada.com. And then you can sign up for the free workbook right on her website. And then it's going to ask, where did you hear from me? Or, where did you hear about me? So make sure that you say Robyn Leslie or Robyn Only the Inspired, one of those. And then you'll also get a free ebook of her Burnout to Unstoppable book. And so you get a bonus.
Here. Yeah, here it is.
And so you'll get the workbook, plus you'll get the ebook. So make sure that you mention Robyn or Only the Inspired, one of those things, so she knows to also give you the ebook. So is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, I'm very happy to be here and to meet you, and hopefully we can build a community of coaches that that inspire each other and motivate each other.
Absolutely, and that's what I am trying to do. And I think we're creating something beautiful. Just the support. We all need the collaboration from like-minded people, and the collaboration from the people who really, truly, at their souls, want to help bring people up and help them become the best people and take care of themselves. And
Agree.
And I appreciate you being part of this.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. I can't wait to help get your message out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will talk to you next time.